Reza Aslan. He has the same name as the Jesus Lion from Chronicles of Narnia, but he's actually a Muslim Iranian intellectual who, a few months back, wrote an article for the Washington Post. I didn't see the article until today, and I was, quite frankly, a little bit insulted. It was an article against atheists, and I usually don't let stuff written against atheists get to me personally, because even though I'm called the Amazing Atheist on YouTube, I don't identify myself as an atheist in everyday life. I'm not one of these atheists that has a shirt that says, "I'm an atheist, argue with me." I just am not that big of an attention whore outside of YouTube. But this article kind of pissed me off. In Aslan's article, he furnishes us with a few reasons why the new atheists, that is to say Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, Christopher Hitchens, that crowd, are as bad as religious fundamentalists, the very religious fundamentalists that they themselves condemn. His reasons are as follows. The conviction that they are in sole possession of truth. The only truth that you can infer from someone's atheist position is the truth that they lack a belief in God. I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God, that's all that it means. Now, I know that it can seem like this monumentous intellectual act of supreme heresy in a country as religious as the United States of America, but in actuality, it's just one little issue. It's not really all that important except for in the context of a society that's set up like this. If 80% of people were atheists, no one would give a fuck about anyone being an atheist. It's like saying I like ice cream. Atheists don't claim to have some awareness of the truth that just eludes everyone else. I've never heard an atheist say, "Oh yeah, I know you're an architect, but I bet I can build this building a little better because I don't believe in God." Everyone knows that us atheists are in complete command of all truths within the universe. Number 2 on Aslan's list of why atheists are as bad as the fundies they condemn is that they have a troubling lack of tolerance for the views of their critics. His example is that Dawkins has compared creationists to Holocaust deniers. First of all, Dawkins is not atheists. He is an atheist. Second of all, tolerance is a bullshit word. You can walk in someone's house and piss on their carpet and they can tolerate you doing it, or they can punch you in the face. I think most people would opt to punch you in the face, or if they're not very good at punching people in the face, maybe they just call the police, but they certainly don't sit there and tolerate it. Tolerance is just a word that means we're gonna take shit off of you, or I'm going to allow you to give me shit. Tolerance is a nonsense word. Acceptance, I can kind of understand that word, but tolerance not so much. Now, was Dawkins right to compare creationists to Holocaust deniers? Well, it depends on the comparison. If Dawkins was saying that creationists are as bad as Holocaust deniers, then I don't agree, even though I do think creationists are bad. If he's just saying that it's as inaccurate as Holocaust denial, then that is absolutely 100% correct. That should never be taken to task by anyone. Creationism, Holocaust denial, they are equally stupid. They have equally little evidence to support them. So, totally fair comparison, that's just stupid. Number 3 on Aslan's list is that atheists insist on a literalist reading of scripture. And I think he has a bit of a point here. I've known a lot of atheists who kind of try to put all Christians or all Muslims into one category and make blanket statements and say, you know, they all believe this because it's in the Holy Book, when there is a lot more nuance than that. There are plenty of denominations of Christianity, there are plenty of Muslims who run the gamut from taking this view of the Quran or that view of the Quran, and that's fine. But I think a lot of times when atheists point out that there are all these really horrible things in these holy books, like God approves of slavery, or God sends a bear to kill children because they make fun of one of his prophets, or God floods the entire world, men, women, and children drowning, all because they weren't worshiping him sufficiently, I think that stuff is pretty fucking crazy. And not all Christians believe that literally, but that might be the point that a lot of atheists are trying to make. For me, when I've pointed out the fucked up shit that God has done, it's always to make the point that Why would you listen to this? Even symbolically, why would you listen to a book that says, essentially, if you don't listen to me, I'm going to fucking destroy you? Your God sounds like a pimp, and you're his fucking whore, and you're out there working the streets, and if you don't bring him the amount of money he expects, he's gonna cut your face and shit. That doesn't sound like an enlightened viewpoint to me. And that's the point that I try to make by dredging up the Bible verses that Christians don't usually learn at Bible camp, that don't usually sing around the campfire about how God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, or how God killed a guy for masturbating and letting his seed touch the ground, or how he destroyed entire cities, or commanded Moses to rape small girls. I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff in the Bible, and it doesn't really read like symbolism. It reads like God is gonna fuck you up. And the fourth thing on Aslan's list is, he says, and I'm quoting him directly here, is, and perhaps most bizarrely, their overwhelming sense of siege, the belief they have been oppressed and marginalized by Western society and are not going to take it anymore. You know, every day I get letters from teenagers in homes all across America and all across the world, really. And they tell me that they are atheists and their parents are Christians, or their parents are Muslims, or their parents are Orthodox Jews. And they ask me, how should I tell my parents? Should I tell my parents? I think they're going to disown me if I tell them. This is the same kind of fear that I imagine gay teenagers have to deal with. This is the same sort of environment in this country that I'm sure blacks have had to deal with. And I'm not saying that I think that being an atheist is equal to being gay, because obviously if you're gay, that's a huge part of your personality. And atheism is just such a small little decision, really. And I'm not saying it's equivalent to being black, because you can't hide being black, although people like Colin Powell and Barack Obama surely try. But you can hide being an atheist. But it is just one little opinion, but it's an opinion that can have a tremendous impact on the way people view you. You can lose friends over this. Parents will disown children over this. You can't get elected to public office in most states if you're an atheist. You are viewed as being a Satanist in certain sects of society. I found this out myself when my stepfather told some people in his family that I was an atheist, and their reaction was, "Oh, he worships Satan?" I don't worship Satan. I don't even believe in Satan. Just like I don't believe in God. That's what being an atheist is. But a lot of Americans still don't understand that very simple point. The crazy thing about this is that the reason that Reza Aslan went on this tirade is because he was over in the UK and he saw a sign on the bus, the famous sign that says, "There's probably no God, now stop worrying and enjoy your life." This is why he equates atheism with fundamentalist Christianity, because of that sign. A sign whose essential message is, really, who gives a fuck? Just do what you do. Is that really an extremist message? Is that the message of a fundamentalist? Hey, stop worrying, enjoy your life. That's a Bobby fucking McFerrin song. Don't worry, be happy. And he's getting all worked up over that? That's his evidence that we've become extremists? That we're some sort of weird cultural element that's lashing out against everyone else because of that fucking sign? Give me a fucking break. The Jesus lion is fucking stupid. When you're not killing cows to make burgers, you should be killing trees to buy this book. And remember, if you buy this book, you could also win a copy of this book. That's 2 books for the price of 1. That is an amazing deal. How can I possibly afford to do this? It's 'cause I'm crazy TJ. Everything must go, etc. Buy that shit. It's all